What is up, rock and metal fans? So, obviously, everyone knew that this was going to show up sooner or later. And yes, we all know that if you're a rock fan, if you're a metal fan, if you just like good music and so on, obviously, we got to have an installment on Metallica. And let me just say that, whatever people might say about it, whether there are the larger camp of Metallica fans, myself included, or you look at the larger group overall, who sometimes say that, maybe they're a little overrated. Well, whatever it is, you can't deny the fact of the influence that this band has had, over the many decades since it really first formed. So, without further ado, let's get into the actual thing of what I think are my top three records, and definitely records that, for you guys who are new to Metallica, that you could probably check out. And as I said before, guys, with my previous videos, if you guys like what I say, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have an alternative suggestion, I would love to hear from you. Let's keep it healthy. Let's keep it, focused on all things on good music and all things Metallica. So here we go. The first album, which I really adore, is obviously Kill 'Em All, the debut album. Now, I might say something here that is going to sound very controversial to some fans, but for a lot of Metallica fans, I'm sure they can respect that. And that is that one of the reasons why I really am drawn to Kill 'Em All is because although he never was finally part of the actual recording, but you can see a big influence of Dave Mustaine on this album. Now, you guys know that I'm a huge Megadeth fan, but I am not going to get into that war of, Dave made Metallica or Metallica doesn't need Dave and, all that kind of nonsense and so on. Let's keep it let's keep it healthy. Let's keep it strong out here. The fact is that there is an influence, but having said so, with the addition of Kirk Hammett and with Cliff Burton, the late Cliff Burton, God rest his soul, and you have James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich, the thing is that this is one hell of a record, guys. It does not sound dated even till now. It has got so much of diversity. It is what I would consider to be a really solid album straight throughout. It's got so much of, elements to it. And I think that, you take songs like my personal favorite, like Phantom Lord, you take Motor Breath, you take The Four Horsemen. Yes, for those guys who do know me, know that, Between Four Horsemen, which is a great version, and then you have Megadeth's Mechanics. I love them both. But having said so, Hit the Light, Seek and Destroy, there's so much of rich content on this album. There's so much that you can actually do. And what really surprises me also, and what really stands out is, let me call this out, is, Cliff Burton's song, which is Anesthesia Pulling Teeth. Because, that sort of bass solo, which he does with, a little bit of input from Lars at the end with his drumming and so on, really gives this, not just the track, but this whole album an interesting element to it. Then, obviously, I want to get into is this. Now, start to finish, this is pure genius. This is, a perfect record. Like so many other bands have a perfect record. This is a perfect record, which is Master of Puppets. And the thing is that, standard tracks like Welcome Home Sanitarium, Leper Messiah, you take the actual title track itself and so on. I mean, there's so many ways in which the band was trying to really grow its sound. You take this acoustic intro to Battery, for instance, that was interesting. Or even if you take something like the thing that should not be, sorry. So all in all, I think it's just an album which also features my favorite Metallica cover, which is the Master of Puppets sleeve, which has this obviously godlike hands pulling these strings over graves of soldiers and so on. So very, very interesting album overall, which then leads me to this final album. Now, I can see a ton of guys just rolling their eyes on this one, because for many fans, there's a divide. A lot of fans embrace this. They think it was a great, climax to what the Metallica sound was and what Metallica was able to achieve, not just for their own discography, but even for, the overall thing of, bringing and contributing to really bring metal to the forefront and, to make it a huge part of pop culture. And I think that they really achieved that. I mean, you look at the classic tracks like Enter Sandman, Sad But True, to tracks that are so epic like, My Friend of Misery, features a great, bass tone by Jason Newsted. And you look at other tracks like Struggle Within, The God That Failed, The Unforgiven, which I think of the three parts of the Unforgiven, song saga, if I can call it that. This is a track that I would say is still the best one. And I think that you'd find that this is a very accessible record on many levels, but at the same time it doesn't lose its heaviness. There's a lot of dynamism out here. There's a lot of interesting ways in which the band is playing and so on. So all in all, a great record to actually check out. So guys, those are my 3 records. Let me know what you guys feel. If you agree, you disagree, you have a very different view, I respect all of that. You don't have to essentially say that what I'm saying is the best, but love to hear from you guys. And as always, let's keep supporting Metallica and the rest of the bands and so on. And I will keep building up this series as we go along. And thank you to the guys who've actually, given your comments so far for some of the other installments in the series. So till next time, guys, keep rocking, have fun. I'll talk to you soon.